Time for another live moral maze. Here's Michael Burke.
Good evening. Westminster is gearing up for a set-piece debate next week on the future of Britain's weapons of mass destruction. But the moral question is simple enough. Do we need a new bomb? That's the moral maze. Our panel, Melanie-Philips, social commentator on the Daily Mail, the Catholic writer Clifford Longley, the media expert Professor Ian Hargreaves, and a new entrant at number 4, the philosopher Professor A.C. Grayling.
And because some of the new and forthcoming owners of nuclear weapons aren't very responsible.
The fact that today there are some aggressors who will not be deterred. Iran, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, to stop his race to get the nuclear weapon in Iran. Aren't you evading the key moral issue of our time, which is that Iran is racing to get the nuclear bomb in order, first of all, to annihilate Israel, and then to hold the West in thrall to nuclear blackmail at best and annihilation at worst? We are not going to persuade such a tyrant to abandon his race for the bomb.
Iran, a nuclear-armed Iran, will use nuclear weapons against anybody.
In Iran, which may develop nuclear weapons very soon, somebody like Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, who has gone on the record publicly as saying that he thinks Israel should be vaporized.
President Ahmadinejad, Iran, dealing with an Iran with President Ahmadinejad in charge.
In Iran, because you're dealing with somebody in Iran, Ahmadinejad, who, apart from his explicit threat to Israel, is a believer in a messianic apocalypse. Now, this is not rational. He believes that by producing an apocalypse, a nuclear apocalypse of one kind or another, he will bring about the return to earth of the Shiite Messiah, the 12th Imam.
Iran.
How can a nuclear weapon be a deterrent against somebody like that? Somebody who has explicitly said, we are quite happy for much of Iran to be obliterated.
Well, President Ahmadinejad, Iran.
Is it not a moral duty in our present circumstances to avoid the greater harm, for example, of Iran obliterating Israel?
Iran.
Rogue states. Do you think that will stop Iran?
Iran.
The Iranians.
Places like Iran and so on.
Take Iran, for example. Say Iran, desperate in case Iran itself has a nuclear weapon, because if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, it will hold us in a kind of blackmail, thrall, regardless of whether or not we actually have a weapon or not.
But how do you answer the point that our argument provides other arguments others can use to justify their getting nuclear?
Of course there are arguments that they can use, but...
And if we say we want an insurance policy against that, we don't want to be blackmailed, they don't want to be blackmailed.
Oh, no. This is moral equivalence between terrorist states who are aggressors and peaceful democracies who are the potential victims of aggression.
OK, that's it for this week from our panel, Melanie-Philips, Ian Hargreaves, Clifford Longley and A.C. Grayling, Anthony Grayling, and from me. Until the same time next week, goodbye. Boom, boom.